What's up everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. So on today's video, I want to talk about the 3 things that are keeping you poor. And without these 3 things, no matter what, you will not succeed or be successful in the online game. You need these 3, especially the third one. And I've seen a lot of business owners and online agencies trying to grow their agency. They think that the problem is appointments. Then they think that the problem is getting clients, closing them. Then they think that the problem is probably keeping the client. But actually, it's something else. For those who don't know me, my name is Denis Rhomays. I'm the owner of AlphaTwin.io, and what we do is helping agency owners get more clients, get those clients amazing results, and make a lot of money along the way by default. So without further ado, let's jump into my Mac so I can break down this framework with you. Let's do it. Okay, so welcome to what I call the business success response mechanism. Okay, so the other day I was thinking about how can I make it completely inevitable for all the agencies that come into the Alpha Acquisition program, our mentorship program. How can I make it completely inevitable for them not to file? So, and instead of going with the defense mechanism approach, which is where we implement defense structures so that once we realize that we are being attacked by one of these different external behaviors or components, we can react to them. Instead, I reversed that thought process, and instead I focused on what is the mechanism that can guarantee success. What is the response that we need to have to those states? And with that in mind, after thinking about it, I found out that there are the 3 key states in which business owners see themselves in. And the biggest problem that I see is that they don't act on it. So I want to break down exactly how you can act on it so that all the rest of your business is just a strategy, which means like having prioritization of activities that you will implement. Now, state of the deficiency, there are 3. Lack of knowledge, lack of guidance, and lack of urgency. From all of these 3, the third one, lack of urgency, is definitely the most important one. But let's start from my left. So lack of knowledge is pretty simple and self-explanatory, right? So you need to know how to do something. And by how, I mean, what are the required skills for you to be able to get the activity done? For example, let's say that you struggle with getting appointments. You don't know how to generate appointments. You never booked an appointment in your life before. So what do you lack? You lack knowledge. And there are simple ways on how to bridge that gap between where you are and the knowledge that you need and how we bridge that. Now, lack of guidance is something a little bit different. Lack of guidance is when you know how to, for example, let's keep with the same example. Let's say that you know how to book appointments because you booked 1, 2, or 3, or 5, but you lack guidance because even though you did it once or twice, you don't have the consistency, meaning that you don't know how, where, and in which order or sequence to apply the acquired knowledge and skills. You already have the skills, but you don't know when, how, and where to do it. Most important one, lack of urgency. So with this one, this is a problem. Because this is when someone knows how to do it. They know in which order or where or how to apply it, but they don't know why they should do it, why they should go through all the hassle of doing it. For example, you know that you need to book appointments, you need to do outreach, you need to have sales arguments, you need to have an offer, all that. But if you lack the urgency, if you don't have a reason to do something, no matter what, you can watch as many YouTube videos as you want, you will not get anywhere. You will stay stuck at the same position where you are right now. So how can we avoid this? Let's start with the lack of knowledge, okay? So first off, how do we solve the lack of knowledge? Pretty simple. The best way is to observe. See someone doing it. Not just theory, see someone doing it. See live examples. How does it work? Then try to copy it, reproduce it. Once you copied what you've just seen, analyze if the outcome of your copy is the same as the one that you observed. If not, this is a feedback loop, right? Repeat and make iterations on it. If it's okay, well, just keep repeating. That means that you now know you acquired a new skill or you learned something and you know how to apply it. Keep that in mind. Now, lack of guidance. Lack of guidance is a little bit different, which is you actually know how to do it, but you don't know how to do it consistently. Why? Because the environment keeps changing. And for that reason, you don't know how to apply what you've observed in a controlled environment and reproduce it in different environments as you go along. So that's why you need someone that with experience, for example, a mentor or someone that can actually guide you through And instead of applying what you saw back to back, what you want to do is understand the framework behind it and have someone guiding you through it. That means that you need to ask a question. Now, with lack of urgency, this is a different game. This is something that is internal. And the first thing that you want to ask yourself, is there a why? A lot of new starters, they want to start a business, an online business. And when you ask them why, like usually there are three big whys: health, status, and money. Okay. So, and when you think about, yeah, but what about family? Let's say that I want to help my family. My family is poor. I want to get them out of poverty. Well, guess what? That's money. Or let's say that you have a mental problem. A lot of people have. That's not nothing to be ashamed of. Let's say that you are mentally ill or physically ill, and you need this as a way to get better. Well, health. Status. Let's say that you want to buy a Rolex, or you want to drive a Lambo. You want to show all your high school friends that you are better than them. Well, that's status. Is that something to be ashamed of? No, I don't think so. Will that serve you throughout your whole journey as an entrepreneur? No, I don't think so as well. So, because one thing is having a why, and in the early stages, like being money driven, is there's no problem whatsoever. A lot of people think about the 10K per month, but 10K per month is ridiculous. Like 10K per month is not that much. It depends on the perspective, but like if you are doing $1,000 per month and you want to go to 10K, that's 10 times. But if you look at people doing like 100,000 per month, 500,000, a million, 10 million a month, more, what is 10,000, right? 10,000 is one transaction. So in order to grow, you need to have like, at least if you aim higher, worst case scenario, you land on a good spot, meaning that at some point, you will need to have a bigger purpose, a purpose to actually do something. That's why you can utilize everything, all the emotions that you have inside of you to pursue and to build whatever you are trying to build, which in this case, I hope it's an agency. Now, how do we solve this? First off, we need to analyze, does the why exist? And by exist is like, does it exist in your core? Do you have like a motivation to wake up and do things? No? Well, then identification of yourself, which means like, sit down, think, what do you want your life to look like in 20 years from now? Like, do you want to be living on minimum wage? Do you want to be on a position where you cannot afford anything? You need to count all the times, every single time you want to buy something, or you cannot make decisions because you are not free, right? Because it's all about freedom, isn't it? So, but there are different motives. It depends on your personality, depends on your backstory. So it's up to you. You need definitely to identify the why in you. Find out a reason strong enough to make you move out of your comfort zone into a more painful situation that's worth it on the long time horizon. Okay. If it does exist, then it's just about shifting focus. Because a lot of people, they have a big why. They have the knowledge, they have the skills, they have the guidance, but the problem is that they don't apply it, meaning that they focus like they don't have appointments yet, but they're focusing all their attention into seeing videos about how to run Facebook ads. How does that make sense? You have one problem. First, okay, tackle it, and then move on to the other. Okay, hope this makes sense. So all of these are solvable with external help. So these are the core three things that we help agencies with on a high level view. But how does it look like when they jump into our program and want us to help them grow from 5K, 10K, all the way to 25K and beyond? So we do that by implementing the roadmap. And I have a fancy version and also a straightforward version. So first off, the way it looks like, this is how you build an agency in 2 minutes. First off, find a pain in the market. People refer to this usually as pick a niche. Okay, that's it. And please, when we talk about picking a niche, stop doing like those niche calculators. Stop going after what is the best niche, what is the best niche, what is the most profitable niche. There is no better niche than other. Because you should always know the following, like leverage is everything in the game of business. Let's say you want to get into real estate. For some reason, everyone is painting real estate as the next unicorn. But if you have no experience whatsoever in real estate, if you know nothing about real estate, you don't know how business is done, you don't know how the commissions work, all that stuff, like it's pointless for you. Even if you try those Eman Gatsy ROI agencies, that's not a sustainable business in the long run anyway. But leverage past experience. If you have someone in your family that it's, for example, in e-commerce, if he has a business within, he's a mechanic, well, you will know a lot more about cars than I do. meaning that you will have leverage over me if we are competing in the same space. Also, if you have networks, if you have access, let's say that you have parents that are in nurses, for example, that they are chiros, I don't know, any single niche, it doesn't make any difference. Based on their industry, you will have access to them, your friends, your family, your parents, and then to their existing network as well. So meaning that you can have a kickstart, you can kickstart quite easier compared with other ones that just chosen a niche because it's cool. Okay, so step number 2, hypothesize a pain mitigation and prevention mechanism. What does this fancy sentence mean? It means that you need to create an hypothesis about how to mitigate the pain that you found in the market. Why an hypothesis? Because you are starting out, meaning that your solution is not proven yet, even if you saw other people, other agencies using it to get results. All that is create an offer. And how do you create an offer? There are 3 main things that go into it. Okay. Number 1, which is design the solution vehicle. What does this mean? You made an hypothesis on how to solve the problem in the market, right? So design it. Use a lucid chart. Use whatever you want. Write it down on your notepad. But elaborate how you would deliver the transformation. Okay? Number 2, write the sales arguments. Because people will ask you why, how, what for. But describe me in more detail. They will ask you all these questions. How much, right? So you need to know how to answer all those questions, which is writing out the sales arguments, so that you can actually get to the point where you can actually sell it, right? And last but not least, craft the marketing headlines. And again, sales and marketing are completely different things, especially when it comes to the offer. Marketing is the wrapper. Sales arguments is how you defend the solution mechanism, okay? So the wrapper is like, I help X get Y in X amount of time with my solution, okay? Number 3, agitate the market and generate attention. Attention, is pretty much, everyone is telling you this, but it's the new oil. It's all about like having the most amount of attention. He who owns the attention is the one who has the most leverage. So that means that you need to get attention, since you are not already, you don't have like 1,000 or 1,000,000 followers. Well, you need to launch an acquisition campaign. And how does it look like? You have 3 ways of doing it: outbound acquisition, inbound acquisition, which is media, and paid acquisition. Okay. Choose one, go for it. Okay. Cool. Number 4, convert the attention into commitment. Commitment is not when someone agrees with you. It's when someone actually gives you something on their end, when they start risking something to start a new venture. Okay, so in this case, it's sell the solution, because until you get paid, even if it's just a signal, something, there's no commitment. And this is done with a sales call, especially if you're on the agency space. And last but not least, we have delivering the pain mitigation or prevention mechanism. So the thing that we hypothesized at the beginning, yep, it's time to deliver it. So once you sold, service delivery comes down to 2 things. 1, service implementation, which is once you actually give out and implement the service. Number 2, support. So on a grand scheme of things, how does the whole process looks like? First one, once you pick your niche, start outreaching. Why? That's the only way for you to generate attention. Once you generate attention, that means the whole idea of generating attention is to book appointments, right? Once you have appointments consistently, you want to convert attention into commitment, which is collect payment. And once you collect the payment, you start delivering the pain mitigation and prevention mechanism. It's all about extending lifetime value, meaning like renewing contracts with your clients, collecting case studies, because that is what will build social proof and leverage when it comes to closing more clients, and testimonials. Okay. Now, just to cover this, just to summarize this, like I cannot stress this enough. If you are yet to decide on your niche, stop worrying about appointments. If you haven't created your offer, don't worry about appointments, or don't worry about sales calls, or don't worry about, for God's sake, service delivery. There are a number of different ways of doing it, but solve one problem at a time. Okay. This is what I can recommend. So again, start with outreach. You need an offer to do that. After you have a niche, you need a niche to create an offer, start outreaching. Then launch the acquisition campaign. Why? Because you want to book appointments. Then sell the solution. When is it sold? When you collected some sort of commitment in form of payment, most of the times. And then service delivery. Make the most out of extending the lifetime value and collecting case studies and testimonials. Okay. So, and that's pretty much it for today. I hope you found this video useful. And if you did, well, consider subscribing. That means a lot, or leave a thumbs up. And by the way, if you want to know how we actually do this for the agencies that work with us, well, click on the first link in the description. I'm more than happy to have you or jumping on a call with us so that we can walk you through on how our mentorship program works. Well, with that said, have a good one. See you later. Bye-bye.